Hello and welcome to GlitchCube, we're a gaming podcast, and each week we take a deeper look into the art of video games. As always, I'm Christian.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us once again as we dive into the world of games. So this week we are going to be diving into some current events. There's some big changes happening currently at Xbox, right? As Phil Spencer is leaving, or he left already, but you know. And there's a new changing of the guard, so to speak, right? So we have some new people taking charge, and they are interesting picks, I guess, to say the least, right? Like, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm very curious, but the big question here is how much is AI going to influence Xbox going forward? And not just Xbox, right? Like, you're seeing this a lot in all facets of game design. Like even Unity and like even Visual Studio itself, like a scripting tool used to make games, has AI development within it, right? Or you can have Claude or ChatGPT make a game for you, or you can use it as a companion to make a game together. It is a very interesting time right now, where AI is becoming more and more involved in development cycles. I feel like kind of less as a tool and more as a get this thing done quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm a little concerned about it. So like maybe let's jump into some of the Xbox stuff first before we dive further into like actual AI development and game design and is a creative tool. But what's your first initial like thoughts on this? Because Asha Sharma, like she has a great pedigree, right? Like she has, she's been the head of some amazing companies. She's been at the spearhead of a lot of these really big industry titles, but none of them have anything to do with game development on their own. So I feel like this is a really interesting idea or choice from Xbox, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like, the whole Microsoft AI thing has been kind of like their core belief. So it's kind of weird that someone
no pun intended
who
for
was
core AI. No.
It's like it's weird that someone from the department of what they'd be very interested in would be taking this over.
Mm-hmm.
So it's typical corporate stuff, right? Like, you look at Phil Spencer and like, yeah, he had history in games, right? He was on shows back like late 90s and early 2000s. Like he was around and he obviously has an interest in games. I think a lot of his problem is that he was just used as the punching bag, right? Like his bosses would tell him, hey, you need to make Xbox do this because the numbers aren't going up. Make the arrow go up. And
I feel like that happens so much though in corporate situations, right? When there is overwhelming success, it is the company's success. When there is overwhelming failure, it is your fault, right? Like that is just an ingrained idea in not just in corporate, but like in just the job industry as a whole, which is unfortunate, right? Like it's never the company's fault as to why this failed. It's your fault. But whenever you had great success, you didn't have the great success. We had the great success, right? Like, I don't know. It is a bad mindset to have.
Yeah. And, Microsoft is such a big company that has had many controversial takes of, I don't know, the past decade, right? There's still the whole boycott going on with them too, which definitely didn't help Xbox. Because I think that was probably the biggest area of their umbrella that was getting hit by it. But I think Microsoft is kind of in a weird place just in general because, I don't know, Copilot does not seem like anything anyone ever talks about when they talk about AI. Like, I hear a lot about every other service, but I never hear about people actually like being like, yeah, I use Copilot.
No, it's never even in like the top few, peek behind the curtain. But like I look at a lot of different AI bots lately because I'm just curious about the growth of it all. And Copilot is never like even in the top like 5 or 10 conversation. Right? Like Google's Gemini is actually rated higher than Copilot right now. So
yeah, And it's like, I think about like, I think Copilot is just being on our computer, taking all our information, it's like,
Mhm.
in a lot of ways, it's kind of weird, but I think like Microsoft needs to make a change. And I think that they're thinking that AI is going to be the thing that makes them change, but I don't think that's a good idea. I think that, more and more people are becoming interested in Linux when it comes to like the PC, like OS side of things.
I'm surprised there still
Obviously,
hasn't been like a olive branch to Linux yet. Like, it is so hard to game on Linux. Like,
yeah, I mean, Proton makes it a lot easier, but the problem is if you're playing multiplayer games, it's hard,
mhm.
right? Because of the anti-cheats still don't really work well with Linux. And that's the thing holding it back, because think about some of the biggest games, they're all multiplayer.
Right.
So these big games won't really work on like Proton. Single player games for the most part do work. Like I've looked into it because I was curious before I got Windows 11, like, do I want to do Linux? But,
Mhm.
Obviously I just caved and went to Windows 11, but
It's easier, and you can't blame me, right? Like,
I hate it though. Like I
it's
miss,
bad. It is bad.
yeah, I miss Windows 10. I randomly bought a PC from Savers a month ago or so, and it's got Windows 7 on it. And I was like,
Oh,
man,
nice.
even this looked good. Like it's not XP, it's not Vista, but hey, you know what?
It's better
It
than
still
11.
had a
11 is
soul.
garbage. Yeah.
Yeah. And, when I think about Xbox, it's like over the years, it was losing more and more of its soul, right? It didn't have anything kind of standing out and giving it an edge. And I mean, Sony's
Mhm.
kind of at fault with this too, because with the PlayStation, it's kind of done the same thing where it becomes maybe more corporate facing, but it's easier to look at Sony and be like, well, they do a lot of other things. They're not as shady as Microsoft. So it's a
Mhm.
little bit easier to kind of push that off. But,
But they're
with
still doing
Xbox,
the same stuff too, right? Like,
yeah.
it
And
is
I think
there.
the problem is too is that when you look at like Xbox exclusives, right? And they're not exclusives anymore, but
Mhm.
when we were looking at like Microsoft published games, especially last year, right? Like I was thinking like, man, they had South of Midnight, they had like a bunch of games come out last year.
Yeah.
And for the most part, most of them reviewed decently, if not really well. Like a lot of, like, you look at Avowed, you look at all of that, and they released a lot of good, like 7 out of 10 games, 8 out of 10 games. It's
Yeah.
like,
And those
it's
two games
stable.
made it to my games of the year. Like, they made an impact on me. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
they are good games.
so those games weren't misses, but everyone loves to clown on Xbox. And as someone who, I like all, platforms, right? Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. So I'm not like fighting for one side. But something I noticed, it's just like people will bag on Xbox saying like, oh, like their exclusives aren't good, or, it doesn't have the Sony exclusives. But I mean, I think about a lot of the Sony, like PlayStation exclusives where I'm just sitting here like, I mean, yeah, Last of Us 2, great. Or, some of these,
Mhm.
like God of War Ragnarok, like I did not like that game. It's like,
Or a lot of them are
s-
PS5 exclusive, and I don't have a PS5 still. Like, I don't have the disposable income to like get with those games. I want to play those games, but there's a bigger price tag attached to them. Rather with like Xbox, the Game Pass is fantastic, right? You get a lot of their
mhm,
exclusives day one, and it's great, and they work on anything. I play on my laptop. I don't even play on the Xbox, right? Like,
yeah.
it's kind of nice. Like, I do appreciate the flexibility there, because if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would be able to keep up with any of the games right now. Right? Like, it's too expensive.
And I think that's a big thing to think about too, is like when you look at Xbox, it's like, yeah, a lot of people, I mean, even me in the beginning, I was like, ugh, I like having my traditional console with my games. That's it. But
Mhm.
being able to access my stuff from the PC straight to the console, and it's like seamless, and yeah, PC Game Pass is great, all of this, like it's a cohesive system that works.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people kind of overlook that or think they don't need it, but if you're a person that has a PC and a console or something like that, it kind of works out nice. And when I think about PlayStation, it's like they're just starting to kind of do that, but it's still not as seamless. It's not like, I don't know, where you do one for one.
I can't play PlayStation Network on my laptop, right? Like, I'm waiting for that day. That would be awesome.
I'm surprised they haven't. But I mean, then again, they're focusing on, like, I don't know, Marathon or some multiplayer game. And
that's going to bomb.
It's sad because I look at, like, them closing Blue Point. And I'm like, Blue Point has done a great job on remakes and remasters. And, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I mean, they just do remakes. Like, at least Marathon's a new game. But here's the thing is that PlayStation has so many classics that, a lot of them could just be remastered and put up without a whole lot of bells and whistles. But I'm like, they could have just had Blue Point sit there and just make these little remaster and remakes of their older games. They could resell these games for full price and make more money.
Yeah.
And it can't be that hard to do these. And it's like,
I mean, they're probably
why
not
not just do that
next. I mean, come on. Like, the remake market is huge because
Definitely.
The gamers right now that have the money to buy these games we're nostalgia fueled. You give us back that experience that I could have when I was, 10 years old again playing a game. Yeah, I'm playing that thing, right? Like, it does work. It is something, unfortunately. But, like, you could say it's for conservation reasons and all that good stuff. But really, it's just a quick grab bag because of nostalgia. But it does work, right? Like, you can't fight that. I mean, look at Resident Evils even, right? Like, Resident Evil 4 wasn't even that old, and they remade it. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'll buy it again. Right? Like, I don't know.
I think, the remake market's big, and I think recently we've been seeing them done well. I look at, like, the Dragon Quest games, right? For the most part, right? 7 aside. But they're all great. I think Square Enix is getting better with their remakes in a lot of ways. And
the Final Fantasy VII ones are fantastic right now. So
yeah, I mean, they did a lot of work with that. I heard that there's some kind of hints that they might do 13. Apparently, 13 is Japan's favorite Final Fantasy.
I've heard that too, which I find really interesting. But it makes sense as to why they got 3 separate games out of that.
True. I know we talked about before, I do want to go back and try to do 13 too, but I'm like, I think I need a big break from that. But
I tried all 3. The first one is the best. 13.2 is okay. And Lightning Returns, I was just like, eh. Like, I don't know. I couldn't really, like, get into it. But yeah, no, like, the original 13 is really good. Like, I did really enjoy my time with it. Once you get used to the combat system, because it is so different.
Yeah. For me, I'm like looking at my 360 and it's like, well, I just finished our February game. But I was sitting there thinking, like, well, I want to play another game on my 360. And I was like, do I want to do 13.2 or do I want to do a different RPG? And it's like, well, I'm looking at Lost Odyssey and I'm like, I don't know if I want to start another big RPG right now. But so I'm like sitting there thinking, like, okay, like
Infinite Undiscovery. No, that's another big one too.
Oh, God, I want to do Blue Dragon too. Like, I want to play all of those, right?
Oh, Blue Dragon would be rad. Oh, that's a good choice, actually.
So I'm like sitting there thinking, like, okay, like I need to sit back and really think about this. But, going back to the remakes, it's like, it's a hot market. And like you said, the people that grew up with that have the money now, or we could afford this kind of stuff. And, even if it's just something with better accessibility, right? Make the game how you want it difficulty wise, or just clean it up a little bit. And I think that's, really important because it's not like Sony is dropping all these old games on their online service. I mean, they do slowly every month add some titles, but it's not like a lot. And
it's never gripping. Like, I think Xbox really has the market on that of like monthly releases.
They did. Well, they have a good backwards compatibility. It was just kind of a bummer when they stopped because I think they could have done more, but when you look at the bigger picture, it's like, well, who is this backwards stuff for? Because you have to think the biggest market, exactly,
really,
for
it's
us, but it's not like the kids are going to be getting into it, or even like when you disregard the kids that play Fortnite and Roblox, another big percentage of people that play games just play sports games. So there's no reason for them to really play these older things. So then you get the people like us who are like, well, I want to play, a PlayStation 2 game on my PS5 or something like that. And it's like, I don't know. You think it would just be easy to flip a switch and be like, oh, here's all these games. Like, you don't need to enhance them at all. Just bring them on there. I mean, you look at the Nintendo Online service and say what you will about it, but, they're at least adding to it. I mean, are they adding a lot? No, but it's at least, it's something. And the Virtual Boy stuff's kind of goofy.
I do wish that they released more, right? Like, it doesn't feel worth it for how much it is to be able to play. A lot of people are mad because
the Pokemon game, right? The Fire Red got released on the eShop. And everyone's like, well, why are they selling it there and not putting it on the service? And it's like, Nintendo's
that should be a service game. I know they're not dumb, but that should be a service game. I mean, come on. It's just red and green.
There's no enhancements. There's nothing. So it's like, I think there might be like I don't think there's even a rewind. It's just like a straight port.
Yeah. So it's just the base game. It's nothing special.
It's like, at least like maybe make it like a $15 game or a $20 game. But it's like, I think 30. And I'm like, man, that's a lot. But
it's $30. I didn't even look. I just saw it on the eShop and went, dumb. And I kept going. But
it's crazy because it's like, but they know people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
And I mean, those aren't bad games for what they are.
No, they're great. I'm actually playing some ROM hacks from Green, which is really fun.
I don't know. I've been wanting to play a Pokemon game again other than ZA, and I'm like, maybe I'll finally try Black or White. But
if you're in the mood for a Pokemon game that's not like normal Pokemon, I got a couple ROM hacks I started playing actually that are really fun.
Pokemon
Evolved.
Orange Island's one.
Orange Island. There's the Pisces one that looks really good actually. But there's a Sword and Shield like demake that is for Game Boy Advance, and it's actually pretty cool. Like it's true to form. It is Sword and Shield, but it is straight up as like Pokemon Green. Like it is that. It was like it's actually a pretty clever like ROM hack there. Really easy to download too. Play it on your phone. But then Pokemon Evolved is another fun one that I started playing this morning, where Pokemon get extra evolutions. So they like kind of created some new ones on there. So it's pretty fun. Yeah, no, it's they did some really cool stuff with it. So I'm pretty excited. But the Sword and Shield one is actually pretty cool. The fact that it is like it is Sword and Shield, but in the graphics of Game Boy Advance. So it's pretty clever.
Yeah, I'm looking more into the Orange Island one. I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Like they actually have like images of like the islands. Like this looks so good. Like a part of me is like, I really want to do this because I remember in the show the whole Orange Island arc was just filler. But I was always bummed that they never included it in the game. And I'm like, oh, they actually got Tracy's Merrill in here, and they have Team Rocket, and I'm like, man, this sounds fun. But
yeah, that one's pretty cool. That actually looks really cool. But Pokemon Pisces actually looks really cool too, because they made all new areas and everything like that. It looks really interesting. But they have like new types of Pokemon as well. Like what's the thing called? Like a not generation. Oh god. Like the area types, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like they have new things like that, and then they have like new starters as well, which looks really cool. But yeah, the starters for the Pisces one actually look pretty interesting because it's like they made, I think, like 150 new Pokemon for it, which is actually really interesting. So like the starters, like those are the starters. I shared them with you. The picture there. But like it looks really cool. It looks fun. So like what people are doing with ROM hacks is really amazing. So like I would say for people out there that really do want to play a Pokemon game, like look at some of these ROM hacks that are out there, these fan made ones, because some of them actually take out a lot of like the extra fluff, right? Like the slow parts of Pokemon, and just give you the game. Right? Or like when you first start some of these, they even like give you options to increase experience share, or text speed and things like that, like ways to customize the game a little bit more for you, which is really cool, So I'm actually pretty excited to get into this world some more. But yeah, because like especially the Pisces, they did a lot of work. I know a lot of people like kind of complained about it because it's a little like some people don't like the new version of Pokemon, like the fake Mon. But
Yeah.
I like the way they look. I think they look really cool. Like this little guy, his snail friend, looks awesome. It's like a little snail guy, but he turns into this crazy drug psychedelic looking snail dude. It's trippy. But yeah, and there's some like new typings and things like that. So,
but yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker. I kind of like the remakes. At least like I like looking at them. Right. I don't have the money to buy every one of them I see, but they're always fun to check out. But so real quick, I have been playing a bunch of games, and it's a lot of these are smaller games, right? I've been kind of like busy with some RPGs in the background, right? I'm still trying to get through Breath of Fire 4. I think I'm almost done with it, but I knocked out a bunch of small stuff, and I've been still playing other things. I know last week I talked about how I've been playing Karn. I always forget how to pronounce that.
That game is so popular right now.
It's really cool. As someone who really enjoyed Baby Steps, like this is a little different, but it's a mountain climbing game. I think it's done really well. It doesn't feel 100% accurate. Obviously, it still feels like a game because you can make your character do splits like in all kind of crazy ways that would not work out in real life. But, I'm playing it on like, I think like the middle difficulty because the hard difficulty is a roguelike. So if you fall, you're dead and you start over, which is a cool idea.
Free solo mode, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and it has like other restrictions too. But this normal mode, like I've fallen a few times and it's really cool. Like this mountain, it feels like you're getting closer and closer. And then at the beginning of the game, it kind of shows you on a map, like how far you have to go. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like just barely halfway. And, but it feels like forever because you're just climbing and climbing and climbing. But it's cool because you have to deal with food, water, and your temperature. And you have your pitons or pitons, whatever you call them. And so you have that to like latch on to. You have to make food, and there's like little caves to find, and there's like a lot of little stuff hidden in these caves that you like actually explore. But it's a game where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play a little bit, get to a save point, and then come back to it tomorrow. And so I've been slowly plucking away at this game, but I've been really enjoying it. I think a lot more than I thought I would. Because normally I wouldn't care much for these games, but I almost treat them like a puzzle game. And it's made my appreciation for these kind of games higher. I've come to really enjoy this game a lot. Like, I do want to see it through eventually.
Right.
Yeah, and I know people have been saying really good things about it. So that was another reason why I was like, oh, I need to check this game out. I feel like right now 2026, like it's had some good games come out, but it hasn't been like a very heavy first few months like last year was. I know March, there's a couple games I'm interested in. I know Resident Evil comes out, I think, this week. But
that's crazy. I'm so excited for that. That looks so good.
I'm trying to save money, so I'm like, you know what? I still need to finish 4. I still need to finish 5. And then obviously I want to play, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, but
6, 7. He said it. You hear that, teens?
I had to say it. We barely ever say those numbers together, so I'm like, I need to say it at least once. But
you barely say that. I work at a high school.
Yeah, well, I say it. I say it to myself in my mind all day, and I do the little hand gesture too because I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. No one's going to judge me. It's perfect.
Man, I can't even do that freaking hand gesture. Whatever. Anyway, continue.
But that game's cool. I like it. I've also been chipping away at Mugenics a lot. I've have more than 100 hours in the Binding of Isaac, so I like McMillan stuff. I loved Super Meat Boy, and this game is like a great combination of it. It's a roguelike tactical game, so it has that like tactics feel, grid-based kind of thing.
I wish I was more into roguelikes.
I've surprisingly haven't wiped in this game yet. And I think because I play very carefully, I've been able to progress pretty far into the game without wiping.
Okay.
I've come close, but it's never been too bad. And I know what you mean. I feel like nowadays I kind of blow off a lot of roguelikes because I'm like, I value my time.
Right.
And I don't want to keep playing a game anymore where I keep dying, even though 10 years ago, it's all I played. I loved them. I played every one of them that came out. Nowadays, it's like, I don't want to waste my time. But this game, it's a little different. I like it. It's a good, like, kind of pick up and play for like 30 minutes and I put it down. Like, it's kind of my coffee break kind of game.
Well, I recently heard an interview about Megenics and the creator of it. What's his name again? Like, I can't remember his name.
McMillan.
Yeah, McMillan. So he was in a recent interview talking about it, and they asked him, like, how long did it take you to beat Megenics, the creator of this game? And he said it took him 200 hours because they put so much into it that it's kind of insane. So, yeah, like, just so you know where you're apparently going towards. He said the creator of the game said it took him about a little over 200 hours to actually beat the game. Which is crazy.
I believe it. When I look online, people say it's at least 100 hours or so. So I'm like, it's a game that I'm just going to keep coming back to every other day, play a little bit and chip away. I feel like right now I have a bunch of other games I've been honestly really enjoying. It's weird, I just, even though like I feel like there's still a lot of games I want to play, it's just like I just keep getting more and more motivated. And making that list, I've been trying to stick to that list, but a lot of these games on, the list I want to finish this year are kind of long. Mm-hmm. So I've been kind of juggling games in between. But like right now, yeah. So like from my list, I'm still working on Breath of Fire 4, Cold Steel 3. I've been debating if I want to start Skies of Arcadia, but I might wait on that. But being distracted, I have played some other smaller games. So my daughter has been interested in playing games. So
nice.
I saw the Bluey game was on the PlayStation service, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let's check it out. And it's a very simple game, right? You're basically going around like the house, the backyard, the park, the beach, like scenes from the Bluey show. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like find these items on the map, collect them. Here's some mini games like keeping the balloon up in the air or floor is lava. And, it's just simple. It's made for little kids. And for what it's worth, it's done really well. Like, it really does feel like you're playing the show. Like, the storyline is like little episodes. And basically each episode introduces a little mini game. And I kind of was like, you know what? I think this game might be a good way to introduce her to like the analog stick, right? The moving the character around with a stick. And she was actually able to listen. She was getting better at her directions, and it's been a good experience. I think the problem is trying to figure out like, okay, you need to move the stick and press X to jump, which it's more like she can do one thing at a time, which, she's right. 3.5. You can't really expect anything more than that. But she's at least gets to like explore these like places in the game, and it's been an enjoyable experience. So it's kind of fun. When you look at a lot of modern kids games, it's like these are the Paw Patrol games. I'm like, oh god, those games look so bad, but they're easy trophies. Not so I'm like, I know. I'm like, she doesn't really even watch Paw Patrol, so I'm like, well, maybe I'll start her on Mario. Like something like we download that My Mario game, which is like, where you stretch the face. Like, it's a very simple game. Mm-hmm. She absolutely loves it. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to introduce like Mario Wonder on like the easy mode. So that's been a lot of fun. Another game, I know I mentioned a while ago that I had played Shadow of the Colossus and I would do a bigger deep dive on it, but I figure I save that for the next episode or a different episode where we have maybe a longer time for me to ramble on it.
Yeah.
But a game that I have been playing that I've been surprisingly really enjoying, even though it's kind of short, is Snipper Clips.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I picked it up because my wife and I were like, well, we kind of want to play a puzzle game together. And we played a lot of the big ones, a lot of the major ones. And this was one that I was always curious about because I remember when the people who played this game said they really adored it. But then most people said like they never played it. So I was like, well, okay, maybe I'll give it a shot. So we are on the last world, the DLC world. And I think we have like 3 stages left. And
that's awesome.
This game's been really fun. The difficulty gets cranked up. I think the DLC world in general with the different stages definitely are like twice as hard as anything else in the game. And I really like the game. There's definitely times where I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, I actually have to think. A lot of puzzle games, they kind of like throw hints or make some things easier to understand so you can pick on the rest of it. But this game has it where it's just like, man, like you really have to come up with how to work through something. And I've been really enjoying it. I think if anyone out there is looking for like a cute little couple game and it's on sale, this game's totally worth it. It's not a super long game. If you hammer this out, you can be done with it in a couple hours. If even a couple hours, maybe like a 3-hour game, maybe a 4-hour game, but
right,
like
and
the puzzles
like
are short, sweet,
kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like we were doing it where it's like maybe like twice a week we'd play like a couple stages, and then we'd play our own stuff. But it was nice. It made us think, and it was just really creatively done. And I kind of want more of that kind of stuff. Like I know Nintendo has. It's interesting when you look at the eShop or when you look online and you see like games published by Nintendo, but ones that aren't that big, like there's Stretchers and there's like a couple other really small indie games that, they're Nintendo like eShop exclusive and no one ever talks about them. Like I kind of want to check them out because they're all co-op games. So kind of want to go into that little dive because I feel like, I don't know, so many things get lost in the eShop because there's just so much junk that I think there might be some like good little co-op gems that, I don't know, no one really talks about. I feel like when you look up games for couples, it's always the same 5 games.
Yeah.
So it'd be fun to kind of find things that are not just Portal 2 and Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time and Moving Out and Overcooked. I want to find these kind of like good co-op games that are just different. So
I'm excited for the new one coming out. What's it called? The like old school like, anime looking looking
Orbital.
one.
Yeah, that one looks cool too.
That looks awesome. So I'm really excited about that one. I'm wondering because I know she doesn't like playing games, so maybe I can get her into that, but I doubt it. But we'll see. It'd be nice.
It at least looks cool.
Yeah, I hope that they allow for like us lonely people over here that don't have a partner that likes playing video games to play on our own, but I don't know because it looks like co-op only.
Because I know like with split fiction and stuff, like you do need another person, but they make it so it's like, if you own it, you can have a friend join you and they don't have to own the game. So I mean, there is that kind of nice aspect to it, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. But nah, and real quick before we sign out, I do want to. I got a couple of little tiny games that I wanted to talk about. But Drop Duchy is one that I was checking out. On the interim, between games that I'm not sure what I want to play right then and there. But Drop Duchy is a cool little game. It's like a Tetris style city builder, right? Like it is a lot of fun where you're building out terrains and things like that and trying to combo it. And every stage is basically like fill the map. So it's a little different than Tetris. Like, you want to actually fill up all the space that you have. But every once in a while, you might get an enemy block that you have to drop, So like you have to get creative as to where you're dropping theirs to get your combo meter as high as possible. Because at the end of each round, the amount of troops that you accumulate, you walk them through enemy troops, right? And if you have more number, then you win, right? Like, so it's just bigger number wins when it comes to that. But it is cool. It's a cool little game. I have been really enjoying it. It is on Game Pass for those that just want to try it out and not spend any money on it. It's definitely worth a couple playthroughs of that one. But the other game I actually really wanted to talk about real quick is one that you shared with me, and it's Directory Dungeon. It's a itch.io game that I was honestly blown away by this game because of just how it was made and what it was able to accomplish on something that was seemingly simple, right? Like, it is a game that is entirely using the file explorer, right? Like, it is just opening up and creating new folders, dragging files into different folders and things like that. But they managed to make an entire dungeon crawler out of that, which is fascinating. And as soon as I started playing it, I like was able to, I took it to work and I showed the guy that is running the game design class, and he immediately fell in love and like started like going through different runs and trying to look at like, okay, how was this actually made? And just seeing what was being updated and things like that. Like, one of the simplest things that I really enjoyed, because the way it works is that you have to have the terminal open at the same time. That's how it makes changes to the file explorer. But the terminal tells you what you're doing. So like, if you go into a door, it'll like say like, oh, a bat appeared. You fight the bat does 1 damage to you. You do 3 damage to it. You kill the bat, right? Like, it walks through that whole process. But then you see your character, the name of your character's folder, because it technically is just a folder, right? It's holding all your equipment and stuff like that, has hearts attached to it. And that actually has your life. So like, you'll see your hearts like get taken away, or if you get more health, it gets added. Like, it is a very clever design when you think that all of this is just happening in the terminal and it's just using folders, right? It's just the creation and deletion of folders. It is very, very clever. And just a really interesting idea. So I definitely recommend people just kind of trying it out. Like, it's really quick, and it's not much, but like, just looking at it from the fact that this was created, I think is really amazing. And it just shows how you don't need a huge, like, you don't need Unreal or anything like that to make something. You just need to make a game. And it brought me back to the mindset of how games were originally made. Right? Like, there were no game engines back in the day, right? Like, Tetris was made in the downtime on some random software, right? Like, that kind of stuff. It was that like renegade game design style, right? Like, I don't know. There's something really pleasant about it that I really enjoyed. So, yeah. No, those are two pretty fun ones right there. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for us this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little conversation here. And next week, we'll be talking about our, game of our book club game for the month of February, which is Fable, right? And then we'll be announcing our March book club game as well as like some scheduling stuff, because we got some things that we got to work out too. But we'll work on that stuff. We'll talk to you guys next week about all that goodness right there. But until then, be safe out there, have fun, and bye for now.